Where's my brute? Brute with a skirt. Find animations. Just give him a standard idle. Do something like this one. Looking ready. Okay. Add to pack. Add to my assets. View and download. Queue download. FBX for Unity. Queue download. Download. I'm sure they'll simplify this process one day, but I think it's pretty simple already. And all I want is this idle one. I'm assuming it's this one since it's copied. Let's just try it out. So here in models, characters, idle one. And real quick, just again, if any of you have any questions on any Unity related things, maybe you need help with your project, or just don't know some things, or maybe you are unsure about some things about the Unity certification, I'd be happy to answer them. You can ask them in the Twitch chat box, or you can ask them in the meetup on the meetup page. The meetup is Unity Education. Okay, so let's see if this is the right idle animation. And for the rig, again, humanoid, copy from other avatar, brute with a skirt, apply. Animations. Nope, it turns out that we actually copied the same one. I actually want this one. Delete this one, don't need it. So idle, rig, copy from other avatar, brute with a skirt. Oh yeah, humanoid. Yes, I do. Thanks, Unity. Alright, apply. Animations. Yeah, that's our idle animation that we wanted. So I want to loop that, apply. So back to my animation controller on assets, double click that. I want to delete this one. Yep. And what I want is this one. Boom. And now if I go back to here, let me Control S, save, press play. Now he should just kind of be like, you know, idle and, you know, ready to go. Good. Good. Okay. So we're at a good point now. We have a little bit of a starting point. Now, what I want to do next is I want to actually make this VR. So how do you make something VR for Google Cardboard? Now, earlier I mentioned you're going to need to download these things if you want to export to Android in the first place. You got to have Android Studio, you got to have JDK. Well, excuse me, JDK. And Another very important thing is you want the Google Cardboard Unity package. If you just Google it, Google Cardboard SDK for Unity, click that. And should be here somewhere. Download and samples. Download the Unity package. Save it. It takes a sec to. Oh, seems like I already have it downloaded. What a surprise. And give it a sec. Okay, so just click that to open it. It'll decompress. So we're going to import all of those cardboard goodies that we're going to be using for our virtual experience. Now, there's always a decision that a developer makes when they're making, any kind of game, especially if they're making something in VR or whatever. Are we going to do third person? Are we going to do first person? I generally prefer first person, but just because this character is so funny looking, I wanna use third person. So you're gonna kind of have the camera is gonna be kind of behind him. It's gonna look a lot like Temple Run. Maybe we're not gonna have turns and so many crazy things because we're doing this on a little bit of a short schedule, but my goal is to kind of give you a little bit of a taste of what Unity development looks like and actually just how easy it is to make a game. Now, if you've noticed, I have not written a single line of code yet. We will get into some code in a little bit, but for now, no code has been written yet. Waiting for it to import. Can go back to this and just see if there's any other things. Match production phases by criteria. Oh, God knows what that specifically means. Differentiate console hardware based by feature. I don't know any Unity developer that develops for consoles. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but I don't personally know any, and I know a lot of Unity developers. I thought this was the basic certification. I think they're going hard on this. You have to get a 70 or over to pass. So yeah, you got to know at least 70% of these things minimum. Differentiate production talent roles and responsibilities. I'd say you probably have lead artist. You probably have multiple subcategories there. You have character artists. You have environment artists. Then you have programmers. You can have different coders. You can have front end interface coders, like gameplay coders. Then you can have back end coders that are actually working on the whether it's multiplayer or whether they're working on maybe scoring system or any kind of net purchases or things like that. I would generally separate in production. I would separate the coders that are doing gameplay and the coders that are doing all the stuff that makes the gameplay work. From a back-end perspective, especially if it's a more complex game that requires any kind of online features. What else is interesting here? Explain the purpose of concept art. The purpose of concept art, I would say, is generally for me, even as a 3D modeler, I have a long and complicated time with coming up with concepts and just doing it straight in 3D. If a concept art just gives me a piece of art, I know exactly how to do the 3D, how to do the game assets based on the concept art. It's not so much of my mind just kind of going wild and just adding things and removing things. So, and another good thing about concept art is it keeps a game in a certain style, especially if you're going for a certain style. So if the concept artist just does everything in a certain style, then your 3D artists will follow that style to the letter. or to the line. Yeah, so I mean that's a few concepts there, I'd say. Other than that, we'll come back to this in a little bit. Is this still importing? Yeah, it is. Close. Yeah, don't need this anymore. So for any of you that have joined the stream late so far, feel free to ask any questions at any time. In the meantime, I'm just kind of going to be covering over this both for myself and for you guys, because I am taking the test tomorrow, and I know some of you are as well. Again, I'm saying I feel like there's a lot of things here that are kind of silly, but they're not really Unity related. They're completely game developer related. And a lot of these things you wouldn't really know without like a game development background. And I actually know a lot of people that develop in Unity and not develop games. So it's they definitely know what they're aiming for. So okay, looks like our Cardboard SDK completely imported. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go to Cardboard, prefabs, and we have a few prefabs here. I like to use Cardboard Head. Cardboard Main works too, but Cardboard Head is just kind of like a simpler version of that. Yeah, let's just use Cardboard Head. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete the main camera. Don't need that anymore. If I go into the game now, it's gonna say it's missing a full screen camera. And I'm gonna import this prefab Cardboard Head. Now, some of you don't know what a prefab is. A prefab is basically just prefabricated object with already parented, already set up things that you can just drag in and into your game. So now that I have this, and you know what? Let's put our guys here somewhere in the middle too. And my Cardboard Head. Gonna move this back, and I like to drag my game view in here. And the camera, the clipping plane. Let's make it a skybox. Is the clear flag. And let me just show you what this is going to look like. So if I just press play right now, you're going to have a little example of the VR view. Oh, actually, so what happens is the Cardboard Head is always likes to zero itself out. So what you really want to do is give it a parent. I guess that's why people like to use Cardboard Main. Let's just use Cardboard Main then. Put this up here. Get our guy nice and in view. Maybe like rotate it down a little. Yeah. And just open this head, and I want the clipping plane, the clear flags to be a skybox. So yeah, just what that basically does is just what's the background of your scene? It's a skybox. Now we'll go into more optimizations later for mobile VR. I still think this is gonna run really smooth on most phones. The Unity skybox is not the best skybox to use. It actually, for some reason, it's like about 2,000 polygons just on itself by itself. But let's just press play and see what this looks like right now. So yeah, check it out. So we got VR right there. Real simple. If you put that on some glasses, you'd be able to see some pretty nice simple VR. So see how simple that was? Very, very simple. They try to make it as simple as possible for you guys to develop some really cool content. and even the character that we built was very simple to build. Now